I recognise the national situation that we're in. I'm not asking for a change to the national vote on policing, but I think it's absolutely essential. I feel passionate about the case for Devon and Cornwall. Devon and Cornwall is the largest policing area in England. Already in Devon and Cornwall, the nature of the vast amount of summer visitors coming in is not properly acknowledged in the police funding formula, nor is the rural nature of Devon and Cornwall. And I think the time is exactly right when MPs are thinking about wider issues within our area of hospitals and dualling the A30 and things like that, that I remind them, in partnership with the Chief Constable, that actually policing is at the bedrock. People perhaps forget or take it for granted that police are there to support them in every way, and I want to remind MPs at this critical time that they are there to support policing as well as everything else, and leave them perhaps to make that judgment, all 18 of them in our policing area.
Of course, there's a heck of a lot of call on resources from the government. They'll be hearing lots of different cases for lots of different areas. Why is policing so important? Why should it be in many ways a special case?
Well, at the end of the day, people need to feel safe. I mean, it's the basic needs of man. They need to feel safe. People in some areas, we're already very thin on our policing numbers, and we are still, the Chief Constable is still policing this county, these two counties, very, very effectively given the numbers he's got. But it's his judgment and my judgment backing him up that that we are at a pretty critical level now. 3,000 officers, police officers, I'm not talking about PCSOs or specials or street passers or anything like that, all of which are essential in the policing family, as are the police staff, but the officers are really the measuring stick, and at 3,000 we believe that we can have an efficient neighbourhood policing to back up resource and all of that at that level. Going below there, we enter a much more fragile model where we may have to cut back further on open police stations, on police stations, and I think the public will be thoroughly dissatisfied if we drop below that figure.
So you and Sean Sawyer, the Chief Constable, had a joint approach to our MPs making this plea, and clearly one of your roles as Commissioner is to fight the corner for Devon and Cornwall on a national level and to make your influence felt in Westminster.
Yes, absolutely. The Chief Constable and I already work together with our MPs. We go up periodically to Portcullis House in London and talk to the MPs and explain the issues here. My role and the Chief Constable's roles are different. I'm here to hold the police to account to the budget I have. What we're both saying here is we need a fair share of policing for Devon and Cornwall down here. We both feel passionately that we must fight for this case. This is the reason the public have elected me, and here is the call to arms as far as I'm concerned.
And finally, Tony Hogg, if things don't go quite the way you want them to go with the latest budget announcements, just give us a small warning of what could happen and what people could see with their local policing.
Well, first of all, we will address every challenge. We are already making very significant savings. We've made savings of around £40 million, 400 officers and 500 police staff since 2010. We've made some really good savings in collaboration with other police forces of the southwest region. We've got internal efficiencies already in the budget to do with our estate and everything else. We're going to try harder on that, but in weighing the risks are that we've already scraping the barrel there, and actually it's going to mean cutting back in police officer numbers. That's the threat.